Wyatt the donkey, Izzy the mare. There's Dakota, the endurance racer, and Corn Dog, Mama's horse, or one of Mama's horses. Wyatt, I go to your bowl, boy. The Corn Dog is in charge of you, buddy. Get on away from Corn Dog's food. There you go, bud. This is our hay hut. This bale has been here over a week, and there's still plenty of open hay for the horses here. This hay hut, I think normally it's like $800, and my wife got it for I think $150 off the internet from another horse person. And this has really helped us save on hay loss. We do sometimes put a hay net over the hay bale, but really that's kind of difficult to do with a big hay bale because these are extra big hay bales. But this really cuts down on the loss of our hay, which is a big deal because hay is expensive. This is a little bit of hay loss, but this is a week's worth of hay that's been lost, which really isn't that much. So this really helps us save on our hay for the horses, which is probably about the biggest expense on the homestead. So we are back at Whistle Thicket here. It's the fall, it's September. I've harvested honey, we harvested the garden, and now we're kind of just waiting for winter. But this is like my favorite time of year, really. Early fall and late spring are my two favorite times on the homestead. Just the weather and just being outside, seeing the change in the seasons. We have bats that come in the fall, and at night we have probably a dozen bats flying over the barn, and it's really neat to just sit out there at dusk and enjoy the bats. So I'm talking about something we're doing different this year, preparing for winter. And it was a big expense, an upfront expense, not an expense that we wouldn't have done anyways because we have to feed the horses. But normally we have open feed hay for the horses in our hay hut behind me, and we get 2 bales at a time from a friend of ours that has great horse hay. It's hard to find good horse hay on the East Coast. There's cattle hay, but horse hay is a little bit harder to find, and you have to store it properly. Most cattle will eat moldy hay and things like that, but horses, you just don't want to do that. And again, I'm not the horse expert, I'm just talking about the hay storage right now. So normally we can fit 2 bales of hay in our truck, and that lasts us anywhere from, in the winter time, only about 2.5 weeks, to the summer that can last us over a month with 2 bales because the horses are also on pasture. And we did have 4 horses, and one of our horses we kind of retired from the mountains at least. He was getting older, and we have a steep property, if you can see behind us. So we found a nice family that now has our older horse that was kind of my horse, but he's in a flat pasture. He has plenty of room, and it's just going to be better on his bones because he was 24, 25 years old, I believe. So normally we have to go an hour one way to get the hay because there's not any good horse hay around us as far as round bales. There's square bales, and we've tried that before, and we always have a few square bales around as an emergency in case we run out of hay. But with the square bales, you have to feed those bales twice a day to the horses. That's just an extra chore that we figured out, hey, let's try the round bales. We started out with a round bale was in like a cattle feeder, and it was underneath our run-in, but we had a lot of hay loss from that. So my wife again found this hay hut, which has been a great feeder. The horses, so we have 3 horses and a donkey. They're able to all feed on a different side, so there's no intimidation, or there's no horse, I guess, pushing out a less dominant horse or the donkey. So like I said, normally though, every 2 weeks, and it's usually me, we have to go get the hay. It's an hour there. I gotta wait for our friend to load it, which usually he's there, but sometimes I gotta wait maybe 20 minutes. And then I have to drive all the way back. We have an F350. The gas mileage is good for that truck actually, but it still adds up. That's a cost. So I'm gonna show you the hay, and then I'm gonna talk about how long I think it's going to last us. And my hope is maybe it'll get us through winter. So let's go ahead and check out our hay storage. I always check too, I guess before we go check out the hay, I always check the hay hut for chicken eggs, because the chickens just see this as one big nest. And most of the time our rat terrier will find an egg in here as a treat. But I don't see any eggs, so let's go to check out the rest of the hay. So we have 14 bales we bought. And like I said, normally we get 2 bales at a time. So this saved us 7 trips, because this was delivered to our house since we bought so many. So 7 trips, basically times 2, 14 hours, add a few more hours on there. Probably 16, 17 hours of my life saved, so I can do something else. So this is one of our hay bales. We also have a hay bale that's in the hay hut that I told you, and we have 2 more bales inside our red barn, and then the rest is, there's our house. The rest is in our shelter, so let's check out all the rest of the hay. Glory, glory, glory. Okay, let's check this out. So like I said, we got 14 bales total. There are 8 bales on the bottom here. You can't see them all. Then we got 2 big bales on top. That little shorty, it was a free bale. Maybe almost half a bale. And then like I said, we got 2 more in the barn, and 1 in the hay hut, and then we also have 1 underneath the carport. So we're gonna do a little bit of math and see how long is this hay gonna last us. Do the math based off of 14 bales, because we do have 1 in there that's already lasted us a week, and I'm just gonna count this half bale as part of that first bale. So we're gonna start with 14 bales. It is the middle of September right now. If these bales last us 1 week apiece, which in the wintertime, that's about what it was lasting us. But we also had an extra horse. And even though we had 1 extra horse, he still ate out of the 4 horses and the donkey. He probably ate 30% of the hay, because he was a bigger horse. So not every horse, not every donkey is going to eat the same amount. And he was a big eater. So So if these lasted 14 weeks, a week apiece, that would be pretty awesome. So right now it's September. Let me look at the calendar and I'll tell you how far in the future that's gonna get us so I don't have to go get hay. Okay, so I just checked out the calendar. If these bales will last us just 1 week, which I think that's the bare minimum, then these 14 bales should get us all the way to Christmas. So it's the middle of September and it should get us to the week of Christmas. And that's, again, if they only last a week. If they last a week and a half, which I think is probably more realistic on average, then that's gonna get us to the end of January, which is pretty awesome. If they can last 2 weeks each, which isn't out of the realm of possibility. We have our bales right now are lasting us 2 weeks, but again, at night they have grass, and then during the day they have hay. So we do have bales lasting us 2 weeks right now, but come, the end of October, we're not gonna have that much grass. But let's say they all lasted us 2 weeks. That would get us to March probably, which would be amazing. That's one more chore I don't have to do on the homestead, and it frees up my time to do other stuff, which is pretty awesome. More time to spend with my family, more time to work on projects. So again, this was an upfront cost, but not a cost we weren't going to pay because hay is expensive. These are about 40 bucks a bale, I think, yep. But what it does is it saved me probably 18 hours of driving and waiting, and also unloading actually, because I don't have to unload. I didn't have to unload them the first time, so that's important. So I think this is really going to make winter a lot easier for us. We don't have to worry about, okay, we need to find hay. It's January. It's hard to find January hay, let me tell you, people. So hopefully you like this video. I'm all about trying to make things as easy as I can so I can do more stuff, because I like to do as much stuff as I can. I love learning. I love doing more on the homestead than I did the year before. And every year I try to do something new. So if you like this video, subscribe, comment, and just say hello. Until next time, make sure you're not just dreaming, but you make those dreams happen.